The Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade. How do you feel?
I feel terribly sorry for the waves of unwanted children that are forthcoming.
We estimate that crime fell roughly 20% between 1997 and 2014 due to legalized abortion. The cumulative impact of legalized abortion on crime is roughly 45%, accounting for a very substantial portion of the roughly 50 to 55% overall decline from the peak of crime in the early 1990s. Link. Crime will skyrocket within at least the next 18 years due to unwanted children and broken households.
I feel angry and betrayed. Especially as the wording of the ruling clears the way for other rights to be done away with in the same manner. A direct quote from their ruling states, Next, the court examines whether the right to obtain an abortion is rooted in the nation's history and tradition and whether it is an essential component of ordered liberty. The court finds that the right to abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions. Link. Guess what else, from their standpoint, fits that criteria? LGBTQ+, transgender, etc., rights. I give it a month, at most 6 months, before SCOTUS gets a case on their docket that deal with LGBTQ+ rights such as marriage. And I feel the writing is on the wall in regards to how this court will rule. So, I already live in a state with a trigger law about abortion. Abortion, in my state, will become damn near illegal within 30 days. The only abortion that will be legal is in the case of life-threatening pregnancies. My state is already trying to find loopholes in the law to discredit same-sex marriage. As a lesbian, I don't like the writing on the wall. I have less to worry about in regards to abortion rights, though I am still very pissed an important right has been effectively taken away for many women, but this ruling doesn't bode well for the future.
I doubt this comment will be seen given that nearly 4,000 comments already made, but I'll just say that the logic used to justify this decision is honestly more worrying than the decision itself. It's bad enough that the door is open for outlawing abortion, but the logic used to justify overruling a previous Supreme Court verdict can be used to roll back nearly anything. It doesn't matter that they wrote in the decision that this logic shouldn't be used for other situations, because that's not how precedent works. They set the precedent that decisions can be rolled back if they don't conform to an arbitrary interpretation of what the Constitution originally guaranteed, and so this can be used for just about anything. They can always say, well, it makes sense this time. Not next time, but this time. We promise we won't do it again. Probably. It's no wonder that people have little confidence in the Supreme Court now. They did it to themselves. Edit. Quick edit: since the Reddit algorithm has blessed my comment with visibility, I encourage people to reach at least the syllabus portion of the full decision text, which can be found here. Link. EDIT2 I feel the need to add this part because some critics seem to be misunderstanding my point. I never said that the problem is that the court overturned precedent. The court mentions Plessy versus Ferguson being overturned on the 4th goddamn page of the decision text. You think I don't realize that the Supreme Court has overturned decisions before? My point is that the logic they used here is insidious. The idea of implicit rights is foundational to many rights we currently enjoy and take for granted, such as the right to privacy. The decision here calls that very logic into question, and with it a huge number of previous rulings that can be overturned using this decision as justification.
It means that there's no such thing as settled law anymore. Any SC decision can be overturned by a future SC, and the legality of fundamentals is based mostly on who's in power, rather than precedent. Today's decision has essentially voided the notion that precedent matters.
While not American, I'll be watching the aftermath unfolding with some anxiety. This flavor of insanity is often contagious.
That's how I feel as a Canadian. I don't want this doctrine to spread north. This will not stop abortions. This will stop safe abortions. Edit. Why am I getting all these answers about gun control?
You say this as if they might care lol. If you die from an unsafe abortion, it's a win-win for them.
I think I'm having a panic attack. I was just told my pregnancy isn't likely to be viable at the end of last week, but there is still a heartbeat. I don't know what this is going to change for me in literally the next few days. I have an appointment at 1 to help determine if we need to terminate, but now I'm not sure what options I have. I am so scared and angry.
The R&T network has great information and resources regarding abortion services. I'm so sorry that you're in this position in such a scary time.
I grew up in the Bible Belt, and overturning Roe v. Wade was one of the most prominent talking points from politicians campaigning in the area. The dog caught the car. I didn't think it would happen. What will they run on now? I'm kind of afraid to find out.
Thomas, in his concurring opinion, says the court should reconsider Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell, the rulings that now protect contraception, same-sex relationships, and same-sex marriage.
Just hoping the pro-lifers out there are making space in their homes for all the kids they plan on adopting.
But where will they put all their rocks to throw at women having kids out of wedlock?
Sick. My friend had 3 miscarriages this year, 2 of which required abortions for her health and future fertility. Women and babies will die. People will lose mothers, wives, girlfriends, daughters, granddaughters, the list goes on. More children will be born only to be abused and neglected. The fallout will be more wide-ranging and insidious than we can even anticipate. I'm also violently angry.
As a healthcare worker, this is going to be a effing nightmare. I'm legitimately scared about what ends people will go to without safe options for birth control. Our healthcare system is stretched thin, as is an emergency medicine as a rubber band barely holding it together. I don't like the implications of how this can potentially break something so damn fragile, especially after the fallout of the COVID pandemic.
Our current government does not believe healthcare is a right. The older I get, the more I find out that friends have had abortions. And they are for heartbreaking reasons.
This year in Missouri, they tried passing a law that would make aborting ectopic pregnancies illegal through medication. This would kill women, and it would not save any lives. I fear having daughters for their sake. Edit for the source and to clarify. Source: Missouri House Bill No. 2810. The bill specifically targeted abortion-inducing DG, medication, and equipment. Line 15 contains their stance on ectopic pregnancies. Also, I should clarify that I am not from Missouri. However, I have suffered through a very messy miscarriage, so this news resonated with me. I do not want to hijack the experiences of Missouri women.
This is what people don't understand. There are people that think a fetus can be relocated to the uterus in an ectopic pregnancy. It can't. It will kill you. There are people that don't understand that a miscarriage can begin but not fully finish. This requires medical intervention that is classified as an abortion. If you don't do it, it will kill you. Have you ever heard of anencephaly? Link.
Maybe F-ed up to say, but I'm glad my women's march, protesting, social justice fighting, feminist mother isn't alive to see this.
These were almost verbatim what my own mother said about my grandmother 10 minutes ago. It's heartbreaking, but I agree.
Separation of church and state my ass.
No abortion, no healthcare, no maternity leave, no affordable housing, school violence, police authorities with too much power and close to zero control and responsibility. Lobbying. America feels like a premium third world.
Why aren't millennials having kids?
Our fertility doctor has informed us that he will no longer provide services to me and my wife given the higher chance of needing a medically necessary abortion. Any stillborn child would now legally be required to be carried to full term. This is far too dangerous for my wife's health in his medical opinion. So intense rage is how I'm feeling.
Oh my. I'm so incredibly sorry, and I'm livid for you and your wife. The SC took your chances of having a baby away. My God. I'm crying even more tears of anger now.
I'm feeling like religious morals and posturing have no place in government, is how I feel. This will not go well.
The country was founded on the belief of separation of church and state. Yet we are very quickly moving into theocracy.
As a gay man, I know they are coming for me next.
Weird, because I'm German and our parliament just liberalized abortion law today. Hours later they overturned Roe v. Wade in the US, so yeah. In the past the US was a place to look up to in terms of individual rights and freedom, but I guess that's no more.
I just read the 2022 Texas GOP platform. Very disturbing. We need to remove and keep these people out of office. And #X200B. Edit, taking out Sharia law comment, didn't mean to be Islamophobic.
Effing angry. Why are we going backwards?
Betrayed as an American. We can't have any progress in this country due to a very small, rich and powerful minority who treats a 2,000-year-old book as law, which they consistently misquote or misrepresent. Edit. I know the Bible wasn't quoted in the decision. The conservative justices are too smart to overrule something off pure religious pretext. But you're an absolute idiot with their head in the sand if you think their faith played no role in this being overturned after being a judicial precedent for more than 30 years.
It's a betrayal of all women. Abortion is healthcare. Women will die because of this striking down. The Handmaid's Tale was supposed to stay as fiction. America is the bad place. I think this a death blow to the legitimacy of the Supreme Court. The majority of Americans support abortion rights. Now that Roe has been overturned, there is no argument that the Supreme Court isn't a purely political institution. Now there's nothing preventing presidents from stacking the court or just deciding not to enforce their orders. Edit. Wanted to address a lot of the people in the replies taking issue with the part of my comment talking about the Supreme Court going against the majority of people. I agree that the court's job is not to side with the majority, that would be mob rule. In this particular case, they're going against the majority to remove a protected right. I understand the need for the court to go against the majority to preserve people's rights, but I don't like the idea of the court removing people's rights. I am not a leftist or a pro-choice activist, but I believe in preserving and gaining as many rights as possible for all people, even the ones I don't like and the ones that don't affect me. I hope more people can move past ideological fighting and simply fight for the side of more rights for everyone, whether it's viewed as at left-right, or at right-right.
I'm not an American, so maybe I just don't understand how your system works, but shouldn't the courts just be interpreting the laws, and isn't it up to the other parts of your government to pass the laws people want? As I understand it, the court is saying they don't think you have a right to privacy in your constitution, and it was that right to privacy that was preventing states from banning abortions. If whether or not your constitution gives you a right to privacy is so important, and the existing laws so unclear, isn't the proper solution changing your constitution or passing laws or whatever so that the right is clearly stated?
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.